the backstory fit into what was going on. So it seems like that's good both ways.
It's still fun to read because the Gunslinger is such a badass. I mean, quintessential. He's got the duster, he's got the hat, he's got the kerchief, he's got 2 twin guns, and he's got they
nickel plated at first, and then he might upgrade to his dad's
sandalwood.
Sandalwood, there you go.
The sandalwood handled pistols, but
sandalwood handle. That's a good rhyme.
He has a horse. This bothered me a lot, actually, because he has a horse, but they called him a mule the whole time. A bug-eyed mule that's about ready to pass.
Yeah, I'm surprised that got you so, but I guess I can totally see that.
But this is
I hardly even noticed that, but now that you pointed out, yeah, that's very annoying.
That's a horse. But now this is a Western. This is so a Western that, like, I mean, he is suffering. His horse.
He's riding into the sunset every third page.
Every third page, and I thought this was really cool because he picks he like it is. He's traveling. I mean, like the broad strokes. He's traveling. He's chasing a guy who has eluded him for he's a week and a half, or he could be 2 weeks, could be 6 months, according to one character that he meets. What do you think of that character he meets in the middle of the book?
Cool. That's really vague. I thought that he, I don't know. I can't think of how to describe him. Larry.
I mean, if this is biblical stuff, this is a prophet of some sort. The farmer or
it shouldn't be that complicated. He's not that complicated of a character. My mind is just I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of.
So our main character comes to this burnt out old town, and he finds this old guy, dirt farmer, who gives him a night to stay. Is this the same character? Yeah. No, yeah. I'm confused. So.
What do you mean?
No, so the last survivor of this burnt out village gives him the compass and says some biblical type word saying he's I'll give you a gift if you give this gift to Jesus when you meet him, that way he can find me. It's a poetic
Yeah, he's
twist.
kind of like the character who creates the quest, or is the prophet, like you said, or the seer, or
yeah, that's what he is. He's a seer because he is this sort of dehydrated old guy out in the wood out
those
in the desert.
3 witches, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know those 3 witches that tell the future. The Furies, is that who they are?
Is that from Harry Potter?
I don't know. No, from Greek mythology, I think.
Oh, right, yeah. I've seen that in movies. So, but he takes the compass and he continues the quest, and this is the character I was talking about. There's a dirt farmer, and he's got corn growing, and he's got some beans, and he's invited.
Yeah, dirt farmer. It's not the best job out there.
Yeah, and he is such a cool looking character too. And he has a talking crow, and the crow is so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So he's taught the crow. He was hoping to teach the crow some Bible verse, but the crow just speaks in nasty rhymes, which I think is pretty funny. And then this was so cool because I'm just jumping all over the place because I just think.
No, I appreciate you taking the lead on it.
So the dirt farmer invites him to stay and fill his canteens. He has this really cool well that he has dug and built, and it must have taken 2 years to build this thing. and our gunslinger climbs the ladder down to this thing, and it's a trap.
Hmm.
You know it's a trap.
Of course, what better place to make a trap than inside of a well?
So he gets down to the well. He's filling up the his canteens, and he is just can't believe that he's fallen into this trap. But it's not a trap. It was kind of a letdown that it wasn't a trap, right?
Yeah, you were really hoping for some like this was almost kind of setting the tone for me for like how crazy or how like out there or how creative they were gonna be. Um, and like because it's the beginning and it's the first kind of this like type of incident. I was excited about the dirt guy because like dirt farmer, I don't know why I call him the dirt guy, but just because he was like a little different of a character, but uh, I don't know. I was really hoping there'd be like great like super awesome twists just knowing Stephen King. Um, anyway, yeah.
But we're kind of let down because it isn't a trap, and it's just exactly what it was. It was an invitation for dinner, and 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 the guy comes back out of the well, canteen's filled, immediately falls asleep after this meal. His horse passes, which is sad, but at the same time, there's just like
But it's not like we were really that attached to the horse.
yeah, there's actually some sentimental like not an attachment, but like just like the gunslinger is just like I can't believe he was walking on sheer.
He was a good horse.
He was a good horse, and then there's some back.
I mean,
and
it's
forth.
not that horse dying isn't like sad, but it
Yeah.
wasn't extra sad, I guess.
So there's some back and forth between him and this dirt farmer who's invited him in for a meal, and
Would you like some dirt? I grow it at my farm.
they actually have beans, and somehow
My favorite. That's what I'd say.
yeah, well, you're
I love beans. Thank you.
better than dirt.
Yeah.
But there's a back and forth between him and the dirt farmer that's like poignant, you know, because he's like, usually I don't talk this much, and then he tells his backstory.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Because which is actually, it's another reason I thought that this was a good first one, because you usually don't have flashback backstories so much other than like in like the 5th issue. Usually I like having it at the beginning.
oh right, so this backstory. Oh my god, when we get to this art, God, I'm having a hard time with the story because I just want to talk about the art.
Throw in bits and pieces. Like
What?
if this is like if there's a particular page you've been seeing that like along the way that
This
because
is
there've been a few, but for me maybe it's not as much my style of the art. Like I appreciate it, but it's not as I don't know. I can tell why it's Larry's more favorite than mine.
when you see there's one panel in particular. So our gunslinger's backstory is he is a survivor of this like this just terrible like genocide of his people, gunslingers.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they are like the bad guys. They got these shrouds on their faces, and they're throwing all of his friends. And
Yeah, what's important is like usually you think a gunslinger is like a lone gunslinger, but this is actually like it's almost like they're some martial art, some like ancient sect or like a group of samurai or like I don't know. It's a collective of these types of people.
yeah, that's a great way to describe it because once he meets a person, they see his guns and they're like, wow, they are in awe of him because he is a gunslinger and they can't believe there's any gunslingers left. And after you see
he's like a samurai walking around with a sword.
After you see this like fire that they're like throwing the bodies of these gunslingers onto this fire, these bad guys. I don't know who the bad guys are yet. Like I said, they're shrouded in.
They deserve to be burned, as far as I'm concerned.
And they like, there's one.
Burn them all. Those generic guys who are bad.
there's one particular panel where like this guy is sort of thrown and his body is just like in the air heading toward this pile, and it is so jaunty and gross looking. Anyhow, so this is like
that's what Larry likes, is things that are gross looking.
This is a gross looking panel. But this is the backstory of our gunslinger, and he makes it out of this fiery hell alive. And he uses his wits. And I think that he even uses a little Jedi mind trick here. Did you catch that, James?
That's another like group of that's you could see as similar as Jedi.
Yeah, so
Jedi are like gunslingers. So it's like, whoa, you have a lightsaber? So yeah, I'm a Jedi.
I'm a Jedi.
Yeah, I'm a gunslinger. Yeah, I'm a samurai. Yeah,
I'm an electrician.
a.
So he uses this.
Wait, what is an electrician's like lightsaber?
Lineman's pliers. Oh no, it's
lineman's pliers.
12 ounce Starbucks.
Good one.
So he does use this sort of like mind meld on this dude, and he's like, "Oh, the boss told us to go back to the other place. They're burning more bodies over there." So he gets rid of half of his competition, and he climbs
it's the
out of the
hey, look over there.
and he climbs out of this pile of bodies, and he beats down one of these guys. He makes his break, but just before he makes his break, dun dun dun, and we didn't put the spoiler alert at the beginning of the show.
Watch out right now.
There's another person in this pile of bodies alive with him. Mm-hmm. His friend, Aileen.
Of course, it couldn't just be a random person. That wouldn't be as useful.
And that's the end of the book.
So, Larry, I have a question for you, because I kept thinking about this. Partially because the ending, like, it didn't matter to me, because I'd never heard of this character. But, like, did you know before?
Aileen?
Is this someone you recognize? Yeah.
No, I read this, like, in 2007. This is so long ago that I can't remember any of this.
Because to me, it was like, oh, a twist. It's someone I don't know. Like, everybody I don't know, essentially.
Yeah, I don't remember this character. And I might have quit reading it. Like, I didn't finish the series. The series is still going. And I might have stopped reading it not long after this. So I can't remember all of them, but like I do remember I do remember this character. His name is Gilead. I do remember him.
At least the main character is the primary character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about this art, man.
Oh wait, I had one more question about like the guns. Like they're special, but like, is it like the 6 gun or something, like where they're like crazy special, or is it just like the person who wields it is more important?
There's actually one really great single issue, like a one shot that is completely dedicated to the guns, and I'm just
that's awesome.
I'm kind of foggy about it.
Cool idea.
I'm kind of foggy about it, but I do remember like I'll have to get back on the Wikipedia page here and see. But there was one issue that was just, my Wikipedia page goes to Richard Azanove, who I definitely want to talk about. That's the artist who did the coloring here.
Okay.
But there is one particular issue that I remember very like the handing off of the guns from his father, and him actually thinking he could wield these guns and not being able to, and there's some up and downs. That was a great issue. I thought this was a great issue too. This art is bonkers. And now Sean Phillips.
So like, what would you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sean Phillips' art is really awesome. You're gonna recognize a lot of the faces. I'm looking at the Dirt Farmer right now, and Sean Phillips,
definitely a character.
Sean Phillips does a lot of. I would never say that he does a lot of same face. But
what do you mean by that term?
Well, he kind of repeats the same character.
Like too many of the other people look the same.
Right. Well, he'll repeat the same character,